Good afternoon, everyone, all the participants. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar.
Good afternoon to all. Welcome to this webinar.
So we have been joined by our esteemed speaker, Sri Deepak Trivedi. He is the CGM SEBI. We are joined by close to 300 participants, and I know slowly we'll be moving forward, and some of the participants will be joining consecutively. So, sir, shall we wait for 2-3 minutes more, or shall we start?
No, I would like to use this opportunity of 2-3 minutes for people to, say their expression out of this today's webinar. If a couple of them say what they are looking for from the today's webinar.
Okay. So, sir, they will be able to type it in the chat window because of
Yeah,
the
they can
large
do that.
extent.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
So, participants, it's a very great opportunity, a good platform for you to, as said by sir, you can please type what you are expecting from this webinar and how can we can be in line. I know everyone is excited for the webinar. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your registration. We are almost joined by close to 360 participants. And let us, there is no quiz, sir. There won't be any
No quiz,
quiz.
no quiz.
This is just a way for other people to join within 5 minutes and for us to understand what are your expectations for this 1 hour. Meanwhile, I would also like to request during the course of a webinar, if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat window. And then after the webinar is over, we'll take few questions for sure. Due to the limitations of the timing, we'll be able to take few questions as well. So for 2-3 minutes, participants, I request you please put in your expectations so that it can be in line with that. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Okay. I'm looking at the varieties of questions in the chat box. And one of the best question is that how can we make money in the securities market? Now, it will not be SEBI who would be guiding how to make money in the securities market, but definitely we will say how the securities market work and what are the care which one investor or the people working in securities market should take into account. Definitely when today people are listening to me for next 45 minutes, I will be trying to cover the broad spectrum of the different ingredients of the securities market because people have a very limited knowledge or the areas of operation which they know about. They don't know that securities market has different verticals which they can work upon, or they can be an investor in these new verticals, and it can be a business for them also. So this particular seminar will cover three basically areas of knowledge sharing. One would be what all are covered in the Indian securities market, what are the options available for the investors, and what are the options available for the businessmen, and what are the options available to take up the employment, full-time employment in the securities market. That is what I'm today likely to cover. Is that okay for you all? I hope it is okay. If you look at the Indian securities market, by and large, the main two area is well known by the people. One is the IPO market and one is the mutual fund. Today, you all know that there is bunch of IPOs in pipelines, and everyone thinks that it is one of the safest bet to invest in the IPO market. On the day when they list, you just get exit. Now, the Indian securities market has a variety of products available. One is equity, one is mutual fund, one is exchange traded funds. When you look at the market as an investor, you have different varieties of products available which you can think of investing. So someone has raised a question also that can I invest even in government securities? Yes, the retail investor has now an opportunity to be the investor in this government securities. exchange traded funds, mutual funds, alternative investment funds, equity cash market, and equity derivative market. These and definitely the bond market. These are the main different products which are available in the capital market. The people who are into very highly complex market, they have the option of dealing into the interest rate derivative, etc. For the people who are a very newcomer in the securities market, for them it is always advisable that first they understand this market very well. They need to know that investment in securities market are subject to various risks. So as an investor, you should know what are the risks associated in the product in which you are dealing with. Don't go by any guaranteed return assured by any person in any firm, because no one is permitted to assure the guaranteed returns. Whatever investment you are doing in the market has an impact of many factors. And when these factors impact the market volatility, everything impacts. If you are a good investor, look for a good long-term bet, invest in a good company, invest in a good mutual fund, invest in a good AIF product, invest in a good bond, invest in a good ETF. You need to understand what is your risk appetite, what is the financial goal with which you have come in the market. If you are coming in this market as an investor, you will have a very different goal. If you are coming in the market as an employment, you will have a different goal. And if you want to work as an employee with the intermediary, you will have a different goal. Let me spend 10 minutes for those aspirants who wish to work in this market as an employee of different intermediaries. Basically, in the Indian securities market, there are different intermediaries such as the merchant bankers, stockbrokers, authorized persons working for the stockbrokers, mutual funds, mutual fund distributors who are working for the mutual funds, alternative investment funds, like that. So if you want to develop your career as the graduate, as a finance graduate, or as the postgraduate financial expert in the securities market, you always have an opportunity to pass various examinations of the past given by the National Institute of Securities Market. It gives you a very good platform to understand the subject matter, and you can take up the job. Today there is no PPT because I will be speaking extempo and on the different vertical of today's webinar. So definitely today I'm not going to speak on a very structured PPT. So when you speak about the career opportunity in terms of employment, if you want to work with, say, broking industry, if you want to work with the merchant banking industry, there are different roles available. These roles are either in the form of the compliance, it is available in the form of operations, and a couple of them are in the form of client facing. Now, in order to work in the compliance, you should be having very good knowledge of the securities law, and you should have a law degree, which will help you to comply with the compliance to the various regulations. If you want to work into the operational area, you need to understand the operation of that particular industry, because every industry brings in the different types of operational activities. Broking industry will have different operational activity compared to the investment banking vertical arm. So you need to get into this specific activity, what areas of interest you have. The career growth in the securities market industry is very good. You when you are starting with the entry level, and if you are spending, say, your 2 to 3 year at the entry level, facing the customers, looking the certain basic compliance norms, and gradually when you spend some long time with experience, you are able to rise to the senior level, and in long term working with a particular intermediary or a particular industry, and in long term moving on to the other intermediary or moving on to the other industry within the securities market will definitely bring you a good experience, because the potential of this market is very high, and this market is yet to reach to the nooks and corner of the country. However, in order to develop your career as a graduate or as a postgraduate, you need to understand one thing: you need to constantly read, read, and read. Because from our experience, we have noted that people are very good at mugging up the certain compliance rules and everything, but they are not able to connect themselves with the market or the economy. If you want to work very well in this market, you need to understand the financial market, you need to understand the money market, you need to understand the securities market development. One question which is there, sir, please recommend reading material. If you want to read, you need to visit RBI website, you need to get updated yourself with the SEBI website, you need to get updated about the world economy, because at the end of the day, our market is surrounded by the global connections. So in order to have a good knowledge of this market, you need to continuously read about the economy, market, financial market, and general development of the country. You keep on getting news about the RBI repo rate, you keep on getting the news about the GST collection. Now you should be understanding that any such news which you get in the market has an impact on the securities market. So gradually over a period of time, in order to have the deep knowledge, the reading and continuous interaction with your industry peer is very much necessary. This will give you a very in-depth knowledge about the industry in which you are working with. There are many industry players who have their own groups where they meet very frequently and they discuss many ongoing issues. When you are discussing these issues with your industry peers, as an industry standard, you are able to come out with many more effective solutions. The regulator always encourages the industry to raise the bar of their functioning. And when you come out with your own standard, when you strengthen your own solution, it is more acceptable. Now we look at the specific industry. If I look at the opportunity in the specific industry wise, in the case of stockbroking, if you want to wish to work with the stockbroker, then you have the option of working as a dealer, where you can become a trader for the broker. You have an option of working in the operational area of the broking industry, where you work for the back office and settlement and etc. Third area with which you can work with the broker is the compliance. However, along with that, nowadays brokers are also having their own internal audit department. So that is one more area where the opportunity is available for the young students to join. If you wish to start your own business of the stockbroking, you can be an authorized person for a particular stockbroker, wherein you can bring in the client. This client can directly get registered with the stockbroker, and you can deal with this through this broker in the securities market. Now, when you are dealing with them, there is varieties of activity which a broker get into. They deal into equity, they deal into derivative, they deal into mutual fund also, mutual fund trading. So you need to choose in which areas of expertise you need to get into. But you need to be patient about any of the vertical which you think of joining, because it's a learning curve and the rules are changing day by day. So don't give yourself too short time to jump from the one vertical to another vertical. After stockbroking activity, the second industry which is a good career opportunity is your depository operation. The depository participants, many of the stockbrokers are also the depository participant who basically handle the work related to the transfer of dematted securities, rematerialization of securities, and dematerialization of securities. This particular industry is more of a service industry where you follow the instruction given by the investors. It is more of a service industry where you need to kind of, you should be very particular in handling this compliance. When you speak about the industry called investment banking, the role of the investment banker is to ensure that they handle the various public offering, right issue, offer document for the takeover and buyback. So what is the role of the merchant banker and what do the career opportunities a person has in the investment banking industry? In the investment banking industry, you have the role of either marketing of the issue. You have the opportunity to work in the area of due diligence, and you have the opportunity to work in the area of operation of the IPO or any of the further offerings, whether it is a buyback or SST compliance. So in the areas of investment banking, you have opportunity to understand the company very well. And when you work in the industry of investment banking, and if you become the sector specific specialist, you have a good opportunity to develop your career in that particular vertical. Now, third area of operation which comes is the mutual fund industry. Today in the country, there are more than approximately 40 mutual fund. As a employee, you have the opportunity to function in the mutual fund industry or for different area. One major area is to act as a mutual fund distributor, where you can have your own, you can acquire the license or the certification from MFI to act as a mutual fund distributor, where you act as a link between the mutual fund industry and the investors. And this is a good business form for someone. If you want to work with the mutual fund, then there are different vertical with the mutual fund industry. One is on the investment side, and one is on the liability side. When you talk about the liability side, it amounts to facing of the investors. You deal with the investors who give money to the mutual fund. And on the investment side, you become the investment officer for the mutual fund, where you handle the portfolio of the mutual fund to undertake the investment activity by the mutual fund. So this is the broad area of operation which a mutual fund industry gives you. Similarly, the new concept are there now in the securities market. One is the alternative investment fund. You have the REITs and InvITs. By and large, the structure of these three industries is same, where they get their attributes from the mutual fund industries, where the money are collected from the investors and they are invested in a large pool of different business projects. Again, here in this industry, you have an opportunity to work either on the liability side or you have the opportunity to work on the asset side. When I say you have the opportunity to work on the liability side, that is this fund collect the money from the investors, then you can act a relationship manager for these investors. And when as you speak about acting on the investment side, you become the fund manager for the AIF or the REITs or the InvITs, wherein you handle the investment part of it. All the three industry, whether it is mutual fund, AIF, REITs or InvITs, one major area of a job opportunity available is the accounting, because the accounting is very specific. There is a message from Mr. Rahuldev Verma that not understanding anything. Is this because of the pace of the conversation, or it is not the subject? You are not having the basic knowledge of the subject matter. You need to say that. So, in the area of AIF, in the area of REITs and InvITs, there is a ample opportunity for the young people to join in the accounting of these products. Further, all this industry has a separate compliance department to handle the compliance related to CB norms. If you are a lawyer, if you are a company secretary, if you are a chartered accountant, you have an opportunity to work in the compliance department of these four industries. Now, there is a one big area of opportunity available for you to work in the MIIs. When we call MIIs, that is market infrastructure institutions. There we include stock exchanges, we include the clearing corporations, we include the depositories. They are the major institution who employ every year good number of candidates for the different activity undertaken by these MIIs. When you say what are the different activity which an MIIs are performing, if you want to work with the exchanges, you need to understand the different role and responsibilities carried out by exchanges. Exchanges has a one vertical called listing department, which handles the work related to listing of the company and ensuring the listing compliance by the listed company. The second vertical of the exchange is the trading of the securities. Third vertical of the exchange is the monitoring and supervision and inspection of their trading members. And fourth is the handling the investor complaints. When I say exchanges, I mean stock exchanges, not SEBI. When I say MIIs, it talks about market infrastructure institutions, which include stock exchange, clearing corporation, depository participant. So I was talking about the different vertical which the exchanges have. When you speak about what is the role and responsibility of the listing department of an exchange, when a company comes out with the public issue, they get listed on the exchange. Now, once they get listed on an exchange, as per the different rules and regulations of SEBI and bylaws of the exchange, the listed companies are required to comply with the many of the listing norms, which includes showing the information about their annual accounts, sharing the information about the board meeting, sharing the information about the any material development happening in the company, and so on and so forth. So here, the person who wants to work in the listing department should have a very good knowledge of the functioning of a listed company and what are the different rules and regulations which a company needs to comply with as per the listing norms. The second vertical with the exchange is the trading and settlement of the securities. When the equities are listed on an exchange, through the broker, the investors are doing a trading. Now, providing a mechanism to ensure that the trading takes place properly and the settlement of this trading is carried out as per the schedule. Today, now we are moving to almost T+1 and now we are moving to T+0. So, it is the role of the exchange to ensure that the trading takes place between for the equity listed on the exchange and also the derivative products of these listed companies are also traded on the floor of the exchange. Plus, there are various indices available on the exchange, which is also being traded. Now, the settlement of this trading is handled by the clearing corporation. So once the trading takes place, the responsibility of the settlement of the trade goes to the clearing corporation. Here, the exchange is required to ensure that there is adequate movement of information between the exchange and the clearing corporation. The third vertical of the exchange is the inspection of the broking industry, handling the surveillance of the pricing and other things. Here the exchanges are doing mainly doing two role. One, they are monitoring the price movement of the equity of the listed company, and if there is any kind of price manipulation they detect, they work upon that particular aspect. That is called surveillance action. They also carry out the action of monitoring the brokers' activity and they conduct the inspection of the brokers. And if there is any kind of incident of price manipulation, etc., that is being handled by this particular vertical of exchange. Here, the person should have a very good knowledge of the operation of the broking industry, They should also have the basic good knowledge of the listed company space. Fourth, last vertical for an exchange is to handle the investor grievance. That there are millions of investors who are dealing with the stockbroker and they are the equity investors. If they have any grievance, the exchanges are required to ensure that any of the grievance which are brought into the notice, they are resolved. Number two, there is another MII called clearing corporation. The role of clearing corporation is more to ensure that the trades which are done on the floor of the exchange, they are settled. If you know, the clearing corporation acts as a counterparty guarantee for all the trades done on the floor of the exchange. It is the responsibility of the clearing corporation to ensure that they collect adequate margin. And in the case of failure of of margin or failure to ensure the pay and payout, the adequate action is taken. Now, when you are working in an MII called clearing corporation, here you have the responsibility of managing the margin for the whatever trades are being traded on the floor of the exchange. You are also required to handle the settlement of the trade carried out. They also have the responsibility of carrying out again the monitoring of the clearing member funds. They also have the query, have to solve the investor's query. There is a third MII which is very much important, is the depository. The role of the depository is more akin to the bank, where they maintain the record of the holdings of the securities of the investors. The depository do not deal directly with the investors, but they deal with the investor through the depository participant. So whatever your holdings are there, they are maintained by the depository, and you can access the records through the depository. The depository has again the same role. They are acting as the custodian of your security. They also handle the pay in and payout. So when an investor is doing the trade on the floor of the exchange, and when they issue the instruction to make the pay, as per the instruction received from the investor, the depository ensures that the debited shares are transferred from the one equity owner to the another equity owner. When you work with when you work with this depository, you again have the option of working either in the operational part of it or in the regulatory compliance part of it. One of the major area of operation which now available with the three MIIs is into the IT field. All the three MII has a very strong base for the IT infrastructure, including cyber security. Because as you know, India has one of the most highly dedicated developed digital market. So the whole system is running based on the technology. So if you are a technology expert, if you are a cyber security expert, you have the opportunity to work with any of the MIIs because there is a continuous requirement of talented pool of the technology experts. So these are the main opportunity available with the MIIs. Now, when you speak about working in the listing and compliance department of the listed company, as you are aware, when the companies are coming out with the uh, public offering, they are required to comply with many of the listing norms as stipulated by SEBI. Now, it is more of a kind of, sharing the information about the company with the investors. So the person handling this work need to have the thorough knowledge about the functioning of the company, as well as he should have a thorough knowledge about working with the Companies Act as well as and the securities law. The company also handles the work related to transfer of the securities. So the person who is working in the compliance department of a listed company should also have the basic knowledge about handling the secretarial compliance. Because the more and more better compliance for the company, there is more and better information sharing about the company in the market, and there is a better price discovery. There is another industry which and somebody can work upon is the registrar and share transfer agent. Again, this is a more of a kind of service oriented industry where the RTA handles the work related to the transfer of the physical shares, and they also work at the time of IPO market. Here, you should have more knowledge about the basic knowledge of the listing norms, or you should know about the share transfer related activity of a listed company, and you should have a good knowledge of the technology. One thing I would like to here highlight to the newcomer is that in the Indian securities market, unless you are a tech savvy or unless you are a technology expert, you will lag behind. So you need to ensure that you have good knowledge of the technology if you want to compete with your peers. Because day by day, the market is moving very fast in terms of the development of the technology. Now we speak about the custodian. Somebody has raised a question that how somebody can work as a custodian. Basically, the role of the custodian is to ensure that they act as a custodian for the institution trades or for the development of financial institution of the India. It is more of again kind of service industry, and you need to have the good knowledge of the various law because you are here acting as a trustee for the third party. There is another industry in which Indian securities market has an opportunity is work related to the rating agency and the debenture trustee, which many of you are not may not be aware of. The role of the industry is to ensure that they carry out the work related to rating of the different products related to the listed company and others. Here, the rating agency has the responsibility of carrying out the rating of the instruments on a regular interval, and there is a lot of different activity is are involved when you are dealing with the listed company's rating. Here, the person who is handling this work is required to ensure that he has a good knowledge of analysis of the annual accounts of the company. They have to be better analyst of the market, and they should be able to understand the information which are gathered from the different sources. In the case of rating industry, there is one vertical is called rating providers. When they are giving the ratings, they have to ensure that there is adequate processes followed by the rating industry. Now, many of you have a lot of opportunity to work in with the rating industries. If you have good knowledge of the tech, different ratio analysis, etc., you can work upon in this industry. There is an industry called debenture trustee, whose main role is to ensure that whenever any company comes up with any debt security, and when they are secured debt instrument, this particular industry handles the work related to holding the information related to the asset in the trust. It is a very good industry, and there is a lot of opportunity for the future. So till now, whatever I have spoken is about the career opportunity in the securities market. Now I will like to take pause over here, and I would like to take only 3 to 4 questions if anyone has regarding this career opportunity for the young blood, either the graduate people or the postgraduate. I would like students to come forward and ask me the question. I will take 4 to 5 questions. Harshit, open the platform for 5 minutes for people to raise a question.
So you want actually people have sent their questions on the chat window. You want them to unmute themselves and speak?
You choose one or two and let them elaborate the question.
Sure, that I'll do. The question can be elaborated in the chat window because we have almost 500 participants. It may create a gap. Just give me a second. So we have a lot of questions. Most of the questions are actually related to people who are planning to pursue their career in securities market, but they are basically degree related questions. I would combine them in one. So what I prefer is with all the questions is people wants to know what education is required, what certifications are required to take the entry to get the entry into the securities market, or else if they are looking for a career transition, what are the certificates they require to get into the securities market.
If you want to build up your career in the securities market, the minimum of graduation into any of the discipline is a must. You may be a science graduate, you may be commerce graduate, but however, getting a post degree into the areas of finance is very much must to be in this market. In addition to the having the degree of graduation plus post graduation, you you should pass different NISM examinations, and you should also undergo three different e-learning courses offered by National Institute of Securities Market. Because when you go through the various courses of NISM, all the intermediaries they prefer the grad and postgraduate people who have passed the NISM examinations, because our examination ensures that you have the basic working knowledge of a particular industry. If you see on our website of NISM for different certification, the material is available free of cost. There is a recent initiative of NISM to ensure that all the study material is available free of cost. You don't have to pay any amount for that. When you go through this study material, it helps you to understand two things: whether you want to pursue your future into this particular industry or not, or in a particular vertical or not. Even though you may not appear for any certification, but I will urge all the participants who want to build up their career in the securities market to at least have a good reading knowledge of different SEBI regulations. Number one. Number two, you study the different study material available on the website of NISM. And number three, which in whichever area you want to work upon, the SEBI website, exchange website, and the website of the different association of the industry, they give a lot of information about the FAQs. So when you deal with so much of reading, probably you will have a better idea that what exactly you want to get into. And in case of any one of you have a if you require live counseling, you all can reach to NISM, and NISM will be very happy to guide you that which of the particular course will be useful if you want to develop your career in a particular industry. We get a lot of query regarding people who want to work into the investment advisor and research analyst. Now, when you want to work as the in the areas of financial planner or the investment advisor, you have different opportunity available in the form of you can become the registered investment advisor. If you are very good at the research, then you can become the research analyst. You can also handle the work related to investment in the investment fund manager for the PMS, that is called portfolio management services. When you want to work in the any of this field basically requires you to understand that you are advising or working for someone else. It is not your own money which you are putting at stake. So you need to have a thorough knowledge of your advisory business. And when advising the client, you need to understand that you understand the client's needs very thoroughly. For you, the commission which the advisory fees which you earn should not be only the criteria. That is why when if you want to work in the field of investment advisory, you should have thorough knowledge of the various investment product available. You also should be able to see what is the product suitability for a particular investor. Then you can work in the areas of the wealth management or the wealth advisory, what we call it. There is one major area of job opportunity available for the people is in the areas of securities law. If you are a lawyer and if you are also have the basic good working knowledge of the securities market, you can get the opportunity to work in the compliance department of various intermediaries. You can get opportunity to work into the inspection department of a regulatory body or the MIIs, and you can also handle various litigation related work of the securities market. Because as you are aware, SEBI is a quasi judicial body, handles the various punitive action against the intermediaries and the listed company and other stakeholders. SEBI has a very well elaborated, well defined, having national justice process, the quasi judicial process. You can handle the work related to represent your client with SEBI and also against the SAT and the uh, other quasi judicial body. So, having a legal background, having the special knowledge of the Companies Act, having the special knowledge of the securities law, and also at the same time, having the basic knowledge of the operation of the particular market is must, for you to be acting in the compliance and the litigation field of securities market. Because while the securities market always provides you the compliance to the regulation, but unless you know the trading or the operation part of it, it helps you a lot. So it's a very long-term opportunity for anyone. Now, let me talk for 10 minutes how you can become a good investor. If you want to become an investor in this market, you need to understand the product very well in which you are investing. Whether the product is the equity cash, if you talk about the mutual fund, if you are dealing into the option trading, or if you are dealing with the algo trading, or you are investing into the bond market, or if you are investing into the AIF units, or you are also investing into the SME market. Different market has different risk associated. When you deal with the equity market cash, there are different risks associated. When you are dealing with the future and option of the same cash market product, or you are dealing into the index based product, you need to understand it behaves very differently. When you are dealing with the algo trading, you need to understand that please don't get misled by the fantastic return published by this particular community, because when as and when they are algo providers are showing their return, they are not based on the real market. They are from that only tested data, and it does not guarantee you the same return. So our urge to the investor here at large is that don't get misled by the tips provider or other people who are not registered with SEBI. As and when you are an investor, please don't think that every investment is a successful investment, every trading is a successful trading. The success in the trading and the investment lies with how much care you are taking while doing the decision and with whom you are dealing with. So kindly ensure that before taking any such decision of investing, you understanding your risk appetite, you look at your goal for which you are investing in this market, whether it is for your day-to-day earning or whether you are trying to build up a wealth for future or your retirement planning or you are investing money for your future generation. And my urge as a speaker of the day is that please you ensure that you don't put all your egg in the one basket. When you are investing in the securities market, kindly diversify your portfolio into the different product which you understand very well. And you ensure that you invest in such a way that as and when you need money, you are able to easily liquidate this particular product and you are able to take your money out of that. Second thing, when you are investing money into this market, you ensure that you are clearly having clear nomination about the different product for which you are dealing into. If you are investing into equity, please ensure that your demat account has a nomination. When you are a day trader or you are a regular investor, you ensure that your trading account has a nominee. When you are dealing in the mutual fund product, you ensure that you have clearly made a nomination for the various mutual fund investment. As you are aware, yesterday on Friday, the Supreme Court has come out with a very beautiful judgment. Making nominee does not mean the person who's a nominee becomes the owner of the securities market product. The law of succession applies. So all the people who are dealing into the securities market, they should ensure that along with the nomination, they also have the will in place so that whatever wealth they have created, whatever investment they have built in is passed to the next generation for which they have worked whole their life. Okay. Some of the people are asking different questions regarding the behavior of the mutual fund distributors and the investment advisor. I would not like to give any opinion on them. But here probably I would like to more kind of give you an opportunity to understand the ingredient of this market, what you should be careful about and what you should not get into. Nowadays, there are a lot of mushrooms of the advisors available in the market who says that they can help you to get your old shares back from the company and they charge a certain percentage for the old shares or for the lost share certificates or for the share to be taken back from IPF. Let me assure you that Securities and Exchange Board of India (SEBI) and the registrar and share transfer agents, they are very well equipped for you to deal to work with you directly. There is no need for you, any one of you, to pay any commission to any of these intermediaries for claiming back your own property. If you approach the registrar and share transfer agent, if you give them complete details, they will always handle you, they will guide you to claim your shares back from the IPF. Or if you have lost your share certificate, they will help you to generate the duplicate share certificate. And also they will help you to regain your past dividend and they will ensure that you are inherently right to get your property back. So you need not get into the trap of this mushrooms of the professionals in the market who give you guarantee of gaining your shares back from the RTs and all that. Company, RTA, SEBI are very transparent. You please approach them directly. You tell them your queries and they will guide you correctly. Please understand one thing that whenever the registrar and share transfer agents, they're asking for certain compliance, they are more for your interest. So please don't get upset with the compliance norms because whenever SEBI has made any compliance norms, they are for the overall betterment of the market. If you comply with those completely properly, you will get your asset back in the form of dematted shares or your mutual fund units or your lapsed dividend because the companies have been instructed to ensure that as and when the shareholder asks for their old dividend, whatever pending dividend is there with the company is required to give all the dividend back to the rightful person. There is a question that RTA does not support investor when approach ask for KYC and then even after complying, they don't help. I will not agree here that RTAs are asking for the compliance which is even prescribed by SEBI. RTA has no role to go beyond what SEBI has said. So please try to understand why do SEBI had prescribed certain norms? Because we had a cases in past where many people have done fraudulently taken away the equity share of any other company by taking the advantage of similar name. If the equity share is belonging to me, Deepak Trivedi, somebody else portrayed as a Deepak Trivedi, created a fake identity, they went to the RTS, gave all legal documents and they claimed the shares. Only after a few years, when the real Deepak Trivedi went to the RTA, that time this fraud came to know. So whenever the RTs are dealing with you, based on their past experience, that they are trying to protect your interest, and then they are asking for all the details. Here, for the investor and the shareholder and the mutual fund holder, one of the important thing is that you should on a regular basis, you should update your know your address and know your mobile number and email ID with the depository, with the company, with the RTA. Whenever there is a change in your residential address, you ensure that the right address is registered with the authorities. And so that whenever there is information sharing by the listed company or the RTA or the mutual fund or any of the broker, anyone, you get all the information. From my 27-year of career with SEBI, what I have understood here, I will just summarize in 5 minutes. Then if there is any question, I will take it. That the regulator, the market intermediaries, and the MIIs are taking so many steps for the investor to know about their investments. Probably you people will not be aware that for every trade done on the floor of the exchange, for every share delivered by the depository, there is always an SMS alert sent by the MII to the investors. The investors are also getting the contract notes on the registered email ID. The investors are also getting the bills or payment details on their email ID on SMS alert. At the end of the day, the investor also gets an alert for their shares and money lying as a margin with the clearing corporation. But how many of you are taking pain to go through this SMS and your email? Please ensure that you rightly give your email ID to these MIIs, and as and when you receive any such email from the MIIs, kindly take pain to read them, because there is always a change of rules which are brought in by SEBI. Is this MII are trying to bring it to your notice? There are, as and when there is a change in the rule, the right and responsibility of the investor has an impact. So when you read these rules and regulation, then you will come to know the purpose behind which the intermediaries are working. So don't avoid reading emails. Don't avoid reading the demat holding statement sent by depositories. You must be aware that nowadays the depositories are also sending the consolidated account statement CAS for all the holdings. Please take a pain to go through this holding on a very regular interval. And if you find anything fishy, if you find certain things are missing, you have right to approach your depository participant seeking clarification. An alert investor can avoid many frauds. So it is, while the regulator are taking adequate step to safeguard the interests of the investors, at the end of the day, it is buyer beware concept. It is your own money, it is your own interest. So, though they are equity form, they are in the mutual fund units form, they're into the EIF form, or they are in the form of bonds. But these are your assets, these are your lifetime savings. You should please on a regular interval look at your holding statement, look at the email. And whenever there is any change in the portfolio takes place, kindly ensure that you go through that. Nowadays, even in the case of income tax, when you log into your website of income tax, you come to know about the gain and loss made by you for your trading. So there is so much of interconnectedness. Can you ensure that whatever data is available in your or on your income tax website, the same you match with your statement of the depositories. And if there is any discrepancy, kindly bring in to the notice of depository. More quickly you bring in the any discrepancy to the deposit to the intermediary, they are more quickly able to resolve your queries. SEBI has come out with the different mechanism to solve the investor complaint, which you all may be aware. SEBI has also mentioned the rights and do's and don'ts for the investors. We call it investor charter. But please understand the investor charter, while defines the responsibility of the intermediary, it equally puts the responsibility of the investor to behave very with responsibility. So kindly ensure that you read everything before you invest in the securities market. You read all the communication which you receive from the intermediaries. You keep updating yourself for the different laws which you come across in the newspaper. And there are different associations, like we have AMFI, we have NME, that is the NSE Broker Forum. We have ARIA, which is the Association of Investment Advisor. They have website. You can always keep on reading this website. An alert investor is a very well gain investor. That is my message for the day. Thank you very much. If there is a specific question, I will take for next 10 minutes, 5 minutes, then we can wind up for the day. Harshita, you can take a couple of questions specific, and then we
Sure,
can.
sir. Sir, actually, major questions are there, and I would like to request the participants. Many of the questions are being asked by the participants who are in the young generation. They are pursuing MBA, they are pursuing their CFA, they are pursuing their FMS. So, people are asking, are they in a right track? To get, or is there any additional eligibility required? So sir, I would like to brief it that sir has already said that there are a lot of certification program which NISM does, and see, there are a lot of e-learning program which NISM does, which you can add to the to your degree. But here, when sirs mentioned that what is more important is knowledge. Even after collecting all those certification, what's more important is to be able to sustain in the market. So knowledge is something which is more relevant. So I would like to take few questions which participants have been asking in perspective of long term investment. So many of the people who have been investing, they have been asking what is the better way, like long term investment, what is the best product in the securities market for the long term investment. I have, since it is a multiply asked question, so I have just made it a in a crisp way.
If you ask for the long-term investment, they are in the two form. One, if you directly either invest in the equity of the company or you invest through an SIP into the mutual fund. These are the two broad avenue available for you to invest in the market. When you're thinking of investing in a long-term market, a better governed company, a better product of the company, better compliant company is very much important. Just the profitability is not the criteria to invest in a particular company. A greater profitability may be good for the short term, but the company should have a very higher ethical standards. The company should have best governance practice. The board of director of the company should have the eminent personalities, and the people who are working over there should have a very high ethical standards. And the product in which they are dealing with should be more sustainable. So when only you are dealing with this kind of companies, you can definitely create a long-term investment for your future generation. Similarly, if you are investing through a mutual fund, through the balanced different schemes, and you diversify your portfolio into the different mutual fund scheme, then in a long term, you are able to have a good return and you can balance your portfolios.
Thank you so much, sir. Many people have been asking about the source of information from where people can learn and understand about the various vertical and securities market. I believe in the initial session only you have mentioned that people can go through various websites such as RBI, SEBI, and various different verticals. From there, they can definitely gain knowledge about it. Anything you would like to add about it further?
The greatest source of income of knowledge of sorry, the greatest source of knowledge in the securities market is the website of the stock exchanges. Both National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange have created a very beautiful platform for you to gain the knowledge about the company. Number one. Number two, you need to regularly visit the financial market publications which are available in the market. You need to visit the website of the regulatory body, SEBI, RBI, and others. To understand the economy, you need to visit the various global publication which gives you the information about the development of the global market. But one thing is very clear that if you want to be a very regular investor in this market, reading is a must. You just cannot think of that I will listen to somebody else and I make investment. You need to be a very good reader. And after reading, you need to understand and discuss with other participants so that whatever you understood is right. Then you should be a long-term investor.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Any other question?
Thank you, sir. Here we reach to the end of our webinar. I am truly thankful for taking the taking today's time and today's session on the overall opportunities in the securities market. It has been of immense value and knowledge since I have been through the webinar. Thank you so much for the participants, and I hope that you have inculcated a lot of different avenues which sir has discussed in the securities about the securities market today. Hope to see you soon. And ASM conduct a lot of webinar on various facets of securities market. Needless to say, the knowledge is available for free. And thank you so much, sir. Have a great evening ahead.
Thank you very much, all the participants, and I wish all of you a very safe investment. The regulators are working very hard to ensure that the well-developed market is there for the people of this country. Let us contribute to the nation building. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a great evening. Thank you all the participants for attending session, and thank you IT for today's support.
Thank
We
you.
may close the session now.
Thank you.